First tonight, uncovering dangers. This is a spit hood. It's sometimes called a spit sock.
You may have never heard of it until now, but for years, it's been used inside jails to prevent any spit from landing on officers. This is Nightside. I'm Carolina Lee.
And I'm Dave Wagner. In a joint investigation with the nonprofit The Marshall Project, we are uncovering there are still very few studies and policies on using this device that has been linked to dozens of deaths nationwide. 10 Investigates Jennifer Titus joins us now with what they've uncovered.
A few months ago, we showed you the case of a Brooksville man who died in police custody and how we have learned deputies used a spit hood prior to his death. From there, we spent months digging into other cases just like his. New tonight, our joint investigation with the Marshall Project identified major gaps in training and the tracking of spit hoods, as well as a first-of-its-kind database identifying those across the country that have died after an encounter where law enforcement put a spit hood over their head.
It's Daniel and his sister.
Every swipe.
He had a love for animals.
Every detail of her son Daniel.
And that's him there.
Valerie Linson-Beegler remembers.
Good-looking young man, too. It's almost like he's with me. I'm sorry, hold on a second.
10 years ago in a Florida jail, Daniel died. His autopsy report says the cause of death was asphyxiation. Court records uncovered by 10 Investigates show prior to his death, he was pepper sprayed and put in a spit hood.
I guess he was telling him, I can't breathe, I can't breathe.
That was in 2013.
Something was supposed to change.
In 2020, there's Gregory Edwards.
Gregory Edwards is a deceased military veteran that lived here in Brevard County.
He died in the Brevard County Jail. According to deputies' reports, prior to his death, he was pepper sprayed during a scuffle. And then, as you see in this video, a spit hood was placed over his head.
It was sad. It was heartbreaking. It was maddening, frustrating.
It definitely has caused some fatalities.
Dr. Dan Woodard testified in a civil trial connected to the Edwards case. He says adding a spit hood plus a contaminant like pepper spray can cause someone to asphyxiate.
I think you can see this in extremely dramatic fashion in the video of Gregory Edwards. You graphically see the spit hood being sucked into his mouth as he breathes inward, meaning that there's a great deal of resistance to his breathing.
In a year-long investigation, 10 Investigates partnered with the Marshall Project, putting together a first-of-its-kind database that identified more than 30 people across the country who died in police custody after a spit hood was used.
And going through all of these reports, Libby, we are noticing a trend that it's never just the spit hood that's being used as the only form of restraint.
Right. There are cases with pepper spray, restraint chairs, and in the case of Ben C. DeBaca out of New Mexico, officers actually had him in the prone position. So in this ME report, they were saying that the spit shield could have readjusted while officers were struggling with them, and that could have been what ended up killing him.
The documents are not easy to come by. We scoured through court records, autopsy reports, and records requests. This request to the state of Florida took 10 months to get, with help from lawmakers to track down answers. Buried inside, the autopsy report about a man who died inside the Lee County Jail. The ME writing the hood could have acted as a seal, not allowing Damian Foster to breathe. He had blood on his mouth, just like deputies reported Timothy Peters had. He died inside the Hernando County Jail. You see in this video, Peters was first pepper sprayed, and then a spit hood was immediately placed over his head. Minutes later,
can you notify a major case in forensics of a inmate death at the jail? Or I'm not sure if he's pronounced yet.
The head nurse at the Hernando County Jail agreed to sit down with us, although she was not employed with the jail at the time of Peter's death.
I can tell you that our policy, they do get what's called decontaminated prior to having the spit net placed.
But going back to the video, that is not what happened here.
Would you ever put a spit hood on somebody before they are decontaminated from that pepper spray?
If they're going to put our deputies or our medical staff at risk, yes. Put one on them to get them there. A medical professional is going to be with them, decontaminate him or them, and then put a second one on that's cleaner.
But you would take that first one off.
Correct.
Because in this case, that first one wasn't taken off. The second one was put on top of that.
Again, I can't speak for the case, but when they go to get decontaminated, they can't get decontaminated with the spit net on.
Our joint investigation also uncovering a lack of policies, training, and studies on the use of spit hoods. This study, presented to us by the Hernando County Sheriff's Office, has what experts call a potentially fatal flaw. It was tested on 10 healthy people, monitored at all times.
The study attempted to simulate the presence of normal saliva on the hood with a normal person in a sitting position, breathing with it over their heads. Many of those factors are simply not likely to be present in an actual restraint incident.
For Valerie, she hopes more is known about the device before another family is left embracing just memories.
He didn't deserve to die the way he did.
I would love to see policy changes preventing spit hoods, especially in combination with chemical agents, not only statewide, but nationwide.
After the death of Daniel Prude in New York, where a spit hood was placed on his head before he died, the state passed a law to require specific training for the use of spit hoods. There is no statewide training or policy for how to use one here in Florida. Following Daniel and Gregory's deaths, both jails now have policies that a spit hood and contaminant cannot be used at the same time. That's not the case in other jails across the state, which is something lawmakers are now working on. Jennifer Titus, 10 Investigates.